Hey adventurers, so today is going to be another book review. This is going to be for Captain Blood by Rafael Sabatini. This is like a historical fiction. I don't know how much of a historical fiction or how much of a historical it was, but it's definitely historical fiction for us now. But I believe that even at the time it was historical fiction. Let's see what else. Pirate. Our main character is a pirate, seafaring tale, swashbuckling, a little bit of romance, both in the modern sense of the word as well as the original sense of the word. And this is a classic. So yeah, lots of just kind of subgenres or keywords that you can throw around with this book. But yeah, so Captain Blood is a historical fiction pirate novel about a doctor who is wrongfully imprisoned and forced into slavery in the Caribbean, and then his journey to piracy from there. There's apparently 3 books in this series, and I have only read the first one as of this time. I do want to continue with the series because I greatly enjoyed this first book, as we will see going through this review. Before I get on into the rest of this review, though, I just quickly like to say welcome to an Erudite adventure. I'm T. If you're liking what you're seeing from us, please like, comment, and subscribe. So I've told this story before, meaning before on the channel and stuff like that, but I found this book by randomly looking through the available audiobooks from my library because I was in need of another audiobook. I do this fairly regularly. I find a whole bunch of audiobooks and I'm ready for them and I'm listening to them and I'm listening through them and everything, and then I get to the end and I have no more audiobooks at all. And so I start randomly scrolling through Libby trying to find an audiobook that is available that I can listen to because I need one. And that's what happened with this one. I actually think that I found this one and I had another audiobook that I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to this one first. And then I finished that one and same thing happened. It's like, all right, I'm going to try Captain Blood. But I was scrolling through it and saw it and I thought, isn't that an old Errol Flynn movie? And so that, I don't even know if I've ever watched the film. I just remember the title of the film and know that it's an Errol Flynn film. And so I went back to it and decided to pick it up and give it a try. It was pretty much by complete accident that I found it, but I'm very glad that I did. Although this is a pirate story and it could be said that Captain Blood becomes rather notorious, he still maintains that image of the noble pirate, and there's a lot of stuff that ties into that for his character. And that's the character type that I almost always love. Of course, probably the most well-known is Captain Jack Sparrow, who is definitely a scoundrel, but there's a bit of that noble pirate to him as well. He's not some ruthless, bloodthirsty murderer, despite his name, but is instead a man who uses his brain more than his brawn in order to maintain his position. But even with that, he is very capable and very able to fight as well, and does so when when it's deemed necessary. There's a romance element to this book, but it is far from like the main point of the story, that we're focused on this romance at all, and is just really used to fill out and make the story and characters feel more real, rather than to force in a romance, which I really don't like forced in romances at all. But it's also more of a romance in the original sense of the word, meaning a more swashbuckling and heroic adventure. And I find that I love that genre, that idea of romance in the original sense, with like the D'Artagnan romances where they're about the Three Musketeers and stuff like that. Those types of stories I find that I have a lot of fun with, which actually, if you go watch my most fun videos or my most fun books, that video that I did a couple weeks ago, that would be I mentioned Captain Blood, I mentioned the Three Musketeers, and so that would be one of those places where you would see some other books like that I have read and enjoyed. I really don't have a ton else to say about this book. Mostly it was just a super fun book that I didn't have a ton of expectations for, but was just kind of hoping to have an enjoyable time with it, and it was absolutely that. And overall, I really just had a great time with it. I think that we need more pirates in our stories, especially our fantasy stories, and within the fantasy community. I know there are some pirate books that I haven't read in the fantasy genre, and I want to get to those. But like I can think of the Locke Institute trilogy with Rooker Flynn and stuff like that, and that's definitely a pirate book and pirate character. But I want to see more because it's just such a fun, unique way, or a fun way to add some uniqueness to the story without changing something drastically, or making something that's completely unknown to us. So I definitely would recommend this one. It was a lot of fun, and I definitely want to be pushing people to read the classics because I think that there's a lot of great stuff in the classics, and I know that there's a lot of people who don't vibe with the writing style or just want to read the new, the pretty, the shiny, whatever it is. But I feel like the classics are classics for a reason, and there's a lot of great stuff to them. So anyways, that is my review for Captain Blood by Rafael Sabatini. Thank you guys for watching an Erudite adventure. We post videos every Monday and Thursday and have our social medias linked in the description down below. We will see you guys again soon. Stay warm.